Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So today I'm going to be comparing Alti versus WPAY. Now the reason I'm comparing these two is because I see so many posts and tweets from people saying they're moving their funds out of Alti and into WPAY. So it seems like there's a big shift in investments here from YieldMax into Roundhill, and a lot of that is going from Alti, which is a fan favorite in the YieldMax space, into WPAY, which is the new favorite baby in the Roundhill ETF space, if you wish. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into it, I have to mention this disclaimer. This video is not financial advice. It's for educational and entertainment purposes only. It's purely based on my thoughts as I navigate my own investment journey. All investments incur some risk, and please, please, please always do your own research. Okay, let's get into it. So this is the consensus that I'm seeing a lot of. These are some of the examples of tweets that I'm seeing, some of the examples of posts that I'm seeing of people wanting to get out of Alti and get into WPAY. So here's a good example. Just sold off another 2,710 shares of Alti and replaced it with WPAY. With today's distribution announcement from W Hill on WPAY, I think we are going to see a lot of that. YieldMax ETFs need to realize that investors don't want constant NAV loss. Stop overpaying in distributions on tougher weeks like Roundhill does, instead of paying an unsustainable rate. So it seems I'm getting this feeling a lot, this sentiment that people are more and more upset with the NAV, the supposed NAV decay, the NAV erosion from YieldMax, and the fact that there's capped upside, and so it's harder for those ETFs to recover. Whereas Roundhill is obviously leverage with 120%. It's uncapped upside, so it comes down harder, but it also goes up a lot harder too. It can recover that NAV better than the YieldMax ETFs can. So it seems like this is a growing consensus and talking point. So again, Rook, swap my Alti to WPAY, now holding 108 shares in my Roth. I'm putting new money. So some people aren't selling their Alti for WPAY, but instead are moving new money, so whatever distributions and dividends they get, into WPAY instead of reinvesting them back into Alti. They're simply holding their Alti position, which is what I think I might do. I might just keep my Alti position, and then I'm looking for a good entry point in WPAY at the moment. It's hard because it's just been going up and up, so I haven't actually got into it yet. But I'm looking for a good entry point on WPAY, a good price, and then I'm going to be investing into WPAY just for transparency's sake. So that's what this person is doing. They're going to hold their Alti, but they're going to put new money into WPAY. And then this is basically a visual of what seems to be happening in the community. Alti was trucking along quite nicely. It's got a busload of investors. And then along comes the WPAY train and absolutely smashes it. And it seems a lot of people are either getting out of Alti or just not reinvesting their distributions back into Alti, and instead pushing their money and their distributions into WPAY instead. And WPAY seems to be the fan favorite, the favorite baby at the moment in the high income ETF space, or so it seems from just some of the posts and tweets that I've been seeing. So let's get into a little bit of a comparison. So Alti, I think a lot of people on this channel will know what Alti is and what it does. It is one of YieldMax's favorite, most popular ETFs. And essentially, Alti is an actively managed ETF that seeks to generate weekly income from a portfolio of covered call strategies, each on a US listed security, each an underlying security. So what it does is it holds, I think, 15 to 30 underlying stocks, and it's actively managed by a fund manager. And so they can rotate those, which is actually quite different to what the WPAY ETF is all about, because that's a basket of funds, a universal fund, a basket of funds. So this is actively managed Alti, and that is actually a good thing. I think that will be a very good thing and advantage when we eventually go into a bear market, which will probably happen at some point, is because it's actively managed. They're able to rotate the underlying stocks that it's holding and creating income off. And it chooses volatile stocks because obviously they create more income from a covered call strategy. So what is it holding at the moment? You can simply go onto TradingView or a different website and just have a look at its holdings. So it holds stuff that's volatile, that's also got good momentum and doing well in the market. So Robinhood been crushing it recently. Rocket Labs, I actually hold that as a growth stock. Palantir, Coinbase, all your big guns that seem to be doing well. Now, what does WPAY do? So WPAY is actually different to that. It's a universal ETF. So it's designed for investors targeting weekly income and amplified performance, but it invests in the universe of single stock weekly pay ETF. So it holds the basket of Roundhill's weekly pay ETF. So your AMDWs, your MSTWs, your COIWs, your HOOWs, your PLTWs. It holds the whole basket of that. And then if we're in a bull market like we are now, WPAY is likely to do very well because it's got all of those funds in one basket and it's making income off of those, and it's also growth. It's able to increase its share price off the growth of those funds as well. So weekly distributions, diversification. WPAY offers diversified exposure on the entire suite of Roundhill weekly pay ETFs. Seamless. WPAY is rebalanced monthly. So if Hood's doing really well, then it goes up in terms of the weighting, but then it gets at the end of the month or at the beginning of the next month, it gets rebalanced so they're all equally weighted, which is not what happens with Alti. So just interesting to know that they are different. This is like WPAY should really be compared to YMAX because that's more of a basket of funds. But just because I see everyone moving from Alti, which is the supposed favorite ETF in the YieldMax space, into WPAY, I just thought it'd be a good comparison to do. So what does that look in terms of performance? Now, let's take this with a pinch of salt because WPAY has only been launched for just over a month, but we are in a bull market right now. So of course, WPAY and the Roundhill funds are leveraged. They're 120% leveraged. So when things are going up, WPAY is going to be going up a lot more. Whereas Alti is not leveraged. It's also a covered call strategy, so its upside is capped. So in months where the market is strong, it's green, it's doing well, WPAY is going to do better, as is evident here from the results. WPAY over a month and a little bit from 6th of September to the 10th of October is up 14.6% in just over a month. That's incredible. These are total returns. So this is share price and dividends and distributions. And then Alti is up 8%. So it's almost double. Like if this was, that is almost double, which is kind of crazy. So you can see why so many people are getting out of Alti and putting their money into WPAY, especially at a time when October, November, and December look good. We've got interest rate cuts coming, liquidity entering the market. Looks like stocks and risk on assets will do well, like crypto and stocks. So, yeah, I mean, you can see from a performance point of view, there's really not much for comparison. It is a small time frame, so you've got to take that into consideration. But WPAY is absolutely smashing Alti over the past month or so. So here we look at the WPAY chart. So as I mentioned, I'm actually looking to enter this ETF. I'm trying to get into this with a good entry point, but it's been, what is it? So we go all, it launched at $50 and it's just basic. I should have just got into it. I'm always hesitant to get into these ETFs right from when they launch because like with YieldMax, you can see there's a lot of NAV erosion, or the share price comes down within the first couple of months, and then it kind of finds a zone where it's maybe performing a bit better. But I'm always a bit hesitant to get into them straight off the bat without seeing how they perform for the first couple of months. But I think in WPAY's case, that was probably an error because it's just been going up and up, and obviously the market's been doing well. But I've been looking for an entry price around the $51, $52 mark, and it just hasn't come down quite that low. I kind of missed this entry. I probably should have got in there as well. And now it's just been shooting up. Even with distributions coming out, distribution comes out, it shoots up, it recovers beautifully. It shoots up, distribution comes out, it shoots up. Like it's recovering its distribution really well. So if NAV erosion and NAV decay is your thing, maybe WPAY is the fund for you, but only in a bull market. I'll be very careful about investing in any of the Roundhill ETFs in a bear market, simply because that leverage may absolutely destroy you. If you think about the MicroStrategy and Coinbase Roundhill ETFs, as soon as Bitcoin hits that kind of crescendo top, that blow off top, and we start entering into bear market, those funds are going to absolutely tank, in my opinion. MSTW and Coinbase, I'm going to be looking to get out of them somewhere near the top. It's very hard to time the top. And this isn't financial advice, of course, but I'm going to be trying to get out of them before that bear market hits, because I think a lot of these Roundhill ETFs, in a either correction or a pullback or a downturn or a market crash, will do very badly. So got to be really aware of that. But in a bull market like we're in now, I think WPAY is just going to do really well. So I can see why people are getting out of Alti and getting into WPAY. But just thought I would do a little comparison there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you moving from Alti into WPAY? Are you selling your Alti, or are you holding your Alti to get into WPAY? Do you even care about WPAY? Let me know what you think, and please chuck me a like and subscribe. As I said, I'm not great at asking for that, but yeah, cheers for listening, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.